President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
One of the most vivid images of 50 years ago was of Secret Service agent Clint Hill scrambling to catch up with the president's limousine and crawling across the back of the car. The agency was almost 100 years old in 1963, but it wasn't until after the assassination that the organization evolved into the massive high-tech secret operation that it is today. Joining us now are two former Secret Service agents to the U.S. presidents. One of them wrote the book Within Arm's Length. Author Dan Emmett is with us via Skype. Here in our New York studio is Scott Alswang, and we thank both of you for being here on Arise America. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do appreciate it. Dan, I want to start with you. As I understand it, it was JFK's assassination that was what inspired you to want to become a Secret Serviceman. Is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. The assassination made such a profound impact on me as a very impressionable 8-year-old that I decided that becoming a Secret Service agent was one of the things I wanted to do in my adult life. And through some good luck, 20 years later, that's exactly what I was able to do.
It's quite an elite group of individuals, highly professional, highly trained individuals. Scott, you've protected 4 presidents, if I have that correct.
Correct.
Right. Can you just sort of tell me what the lifestyle is like for a Secret Serviceman?
Well, you have to be very adaptable and be able to be on the run at all times. There's never any regular 8 to 4 type, 9 to 5 type job. Anything's possible in any given day. You're at their beck and call as far as their movements go. There's a lot of unscheduled movements. Sometimes it is scheduled depending on the president, depending on the day. But there's a lot of time when you got to be able to be really adaptable and flexible.
Obviously, neither one of you gentlemen were old enough to protect President Kennedy when he was in office. But Dan, as we reported at the top of this, a lot has changed with the Secret Service since that assassination. Talk about what some of those changes have been.
That's exactly right. President Kennedy's assassination was a warning order that the Secret Service needed to train its agents far more thoroughly than it was being done. But that's really the biggest change, I think, within the Secret Service is the training that today's agents receive. It's my opinion that if those agents in 1963 had the training that today's agents have, that President Kennedy might very well be alive.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And of course, you were protecting President Reagan. We all know there was an attempt, an assassination attempt on him, and thankfully it was unsuccessful. But there have even been changes since that attempt.
Absolutely. At every attempt, whether it's domestic against one of our protectees or some attempt or a successful assassination occurs overseas, the Secret Service takes it into account and learns for it and adapts to it. You'll never see an open arrival of a president. You'll never see a president within a group that's generally not done under a magnetometer. And as a result of that assassination, as Dan alluded to, the training has really increased. And in this day of technology, the technology's helped us and hindered us in a bunch of ways as well.
Tell me some of the things that you're prepared to do. Dan, I'll start with you, and I'd love to hear from both of you on this. Some of the things that you are prepared to do to protect the president. Actually, I have a first cousin who was a Secret Serviceman on the advanced team, and I asked him once, would you really step in front of a bullet for the president? And his response was, well, it's our job to make sure I never have to. So what are the contingencies, and how do you approach keeping the president secure? Dan, I'll start with you.
Your cousin's quite correct. If a very good advance has been done, that greatly decreases the chance that the working shift agents are going to have to step in front of a bullet. But if you want to talk in terms of what is the agent prepared to do, the agent is prepared to do absolutely anything necessary, to include sacrificing their own lives to protect the office of the presidency.
And there are two types of teams, as I understand it, that protect the president. Tell us about that, Scott.
Well, Dan was on the president's detail and on the counter-assault team, so he was a shift agent that worked in close proximity to the president. The advance agents go out ahead of the president and make sure all the details. They work with the staff. They work with local and federal and state counterparts. We couldn't do our job without other law enforcement personnel. and work up a plan, bring the protectee in, and a shift agent like Dan would be working in close proximity to the president, working a rope line if they were shaking hands, et cetera. The theory behind protection is not to stay and fight. The theory is, God forbid something happen, is to sound off, hey, gun, fire, emergency, sound off, cover, take the president, like Jerry Parr did, and threw him into the limo when he was shot, and then evacuate. And the guys on the counter-assault team, if there was a threat, would stay and fight.
I got it. Are some presidents easier than others to protect?
Well, President Reagan was always on time. President Reagan, after he was shot, was very listened to everything that the Secret Service said. Yes, and President Clinton, I think, took a little bit of reining in, but he realized the danger out there, and that not everyone loved him.
And you say that because President Clinton, as I understand, he loved to go out into the crowd and kind of get outside the security perimeter.
Yes, and they all do, but President Clinton especially was really a friendly guy like that.
Dan, before we run out of time, talk to some of the myths about Secret Service. For instance, do you have to walk their dogs?
Well, there are actually quite a few myths attributed to the Secret Service. Most of them are just that. The Secret Service does not walk the dog, no. That's actually done by a permanent full-time White House employee. I think the other greatest myth, about the Secret Service is that it's a glamorous job. It's actually quite difficult. It's a very hard work, long hours, a lot of time away from home, anything but glamorous. So I think those are probably two of the biggest.
I want to ask both of you, if you would, to comment on, the Secret Service has sort of come to light in ways that I'm sure you wish that it hadn't, with scandals, the prostitution scandal about a year and a half ago, and then, of course, just recently, the scandal where 2 agents sent sexually inappropriate emails to another colleague. What do you make of those, and did you see that type of inappropriate behavior when you were serving? Dan, I'll start with you.
No, actually, I did not. During my 21-year career and the 6 years I spent on the Presidential Protective Division, this was not the norm. I think that since I retired in 2004, things seem to be getting a little bit looser, and I would just simply attribute that to a lack of leadership. There's weak leadership, in my view, down especially at the first-level supervisory positions of the GS-14s, which is the most important supervisor in the Secret Service.
Those stories have to be, just very briefly, because I'm all out of town, frustrating for you.
They're very frustrating. They are. And they're not the norm, as Dan said, and they are being addressed. And I think it's generational.
All right. Scott Alswang, Dan Emmett, thank you both so much.
Excuse me, may I say hello to Scott real quick?
Oh, sure.
Hi, Scott. How you doing, pal?
Dan, good to see you.
They've worked
You're a
together.
gentleman.
They know one another. All right. Thank you both to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service to the country.
Thank you.
Time now to take a look at the other news capturing headlines around the globe in our Arise News World Wrap.